Good morning from WKYT News. I'm Bill Bryant, and we welcome you to Kentucky Newsmakers, our final show of 2025. Later, how did Kentucky businesses do during the holiday shopping season? Also, how businesses are trying to reduce losses from theft. Steve McClain will join us from the Kentucky Retail Federation. That's coming up shortly. But first, we hear from the Better Business Bureau serving Greater Kentucky and South Central Indiana. Now that those gifts are opened up, what are your rights when it comes to returning what might not fit or may just not be the right color? And how long do you have to use a gift card? What are some other trends and concerns to watch out for during these winter months as we start a new year? Heather Clary is here from the BBB with some answers, and thank you very much for coming.
My pleasure.
It. Hope you're enjoying the holidays. Now that people have opened up their gifts and they've discovered, maybe something doesn't fit or just isn't right, isn't the right color, what is your right to return or exchange a gift?
Well, what a lot of folks may not realize is that retailers in Kentucky are permitted to set their own refund and exchange policies. And those are generally posted at the customer service desk, at the cash register, maybe on a receipt if a person happened to enclose that with a gift you received. And there might be a time frame on that. Don't know if the clock has already started running depending on when the person who gave it to you bought it. So that could figure into it as well. Some retailers relax those policies a little bit more because they know a lot of folks want to bring some things back. Other ones maybe not so much. Some stores even look at trying to stop serial returners who keep wanting to bring stuff back. So look at what the policy is and know that the store can set that. It may be that to get a straight cash refund, you might be able to do that within a certain period of time, but if another amount of time has passed, you might only be able to make a straight exchange for merchandise or even a gift card.
Yeah, are there rules about whether or not you can get a cash refund or you just have to exchange for another item?
Store can set that. Pretty much. So you're kind of, and keep in mind too, some items may have a restocking fee. That mainly applies to things like electronics, possibly DVDs, things of that nature. So if you're trying to return something and they say, well, there's going to be a 20% charge or whatever that might be, that would be the reason why, and it's not uncommon, and the store can do that.
Can a retailer give you a reduced amount? If something cost $100, can they say, well, we're only going to give you $50?
Well, and that may depend on if it was bought on sale.
If
something was a lesser price. So, and again, you have to check with the particular store on that and what it might be, because if an item costs $100 but the person got it for $65, they might only give you $65 back if you can get cash. So.
Heather, how important is it to have a receipt or proof of purchase? And if it is a gift, chances are you may not have that.
You may not. Hopefully some folks have slipped a gift receipt into the box. I know that I see those every year spit out at the cash registers that you can enclose with whatever it is you have in case the person does need to return it. You could ask the recipient, do you still have it? If it's something that might have labeling on it that the store knows it was from their store, they can often scan that. They might be willing to work with you. If there are no tags on it or whatnot, you might be stuck with it and have to either find some other use for it or gift it along to somebody else.
You would think in most cases, reputable retailers, it is in their interest to have a good exchange even with that person, right?
Well, you would hope, yeah. But they also don't want to get ripped off and have people trying to return items that didn't come from their store at all.
Right.
So.
All right, billions of dollars in unspent gift cards are in drawers or being carried around in purses or wallets and so on. What should people keep in mind about gift cards?
Well, for one thing, they're generally not supposed to expire. However, some gift cards and sometimes cash cards, you want to look at the terms and conditions on the back of that, because some of them can lose a little bit of value after a certain amount of time of inactivity. So you want to check that. One thing we tell folks to keep in mind is use the thing. Somebody wanted you to have the gift of shopping or eating out or going to a salon or whatever it might be, and inevitably each year there are businesses that go out of business or declare bankruptcy, and it would leave you with a worthless piece of plastic. So don't let it sit around too long. And another thing that you want to watch out for, and it happens every year, if you get a gift card, register it on the website if you can. If there's a password attached to it or something, you might want to change that, because gift card draining has been known to happen.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. These draining scams. People are out there. They somehow access those cards, and then once you get it, it has no value.
It's been activated by whoever bought it, or if you bought it, and then they have machines, they have scanners. There's just ways they do it. The crooks have all sorts of equipment at their disposal. There have been law enforcement that have caught some of these rings of folks that are doing that, but I heard from someone last year, 6 months after Christmas, who had gone to a drugstore or something of that nature trying to use a gift card they got, and it was empty. And he wanted to file a complaint against the drugstore. It wasn't their gift card. It was some other kind of a card, and it had been drained. And we suspect that's probably what happened. So when you get it, see if it looked like there was any sign of tampering, but register the thing, use it quickly if you can, so that you can get the best value out of it.
And a lot of folks inevitably get cards, and maybe say it's a $50 card and they buy a $35 item, and they leave that $15 on that ends up being a donation to the company.
Well,
right?
or use it. You might go back to that restaurant or that store, and you'll just, whatever you're buying will cost you $15 instead of $30 or whatever it might be. So don't forget that you have it if you can. So.
All right, so on gift cards, any last word that people need to think about in those terms, whether you're giving it or receiving it?
Well, if you're giving one throughout the year, you want to be sure you get the receipt that comes with that also, because you're putting money on it if you buy one for yourself. And if you receive it, again, don't forget you have it. Register it on the website if you can. See if there has been any kind of tampering with it. As far as checking the balance of it, there are websites out there that say they offer to check the balance of a gift card. You don't need to go to those to put in the information if they're saying they'll do it for a variety of them, because it's possible that that's a scam website and they would drain it. Usually you can look right at the back of the gift card. There's a phone number you can call to check it, or a website you can log on to, enter the number, and see what the value is left on it. You can do that when you first get the thing, if there's no value written on it, just to see how much there is for you.
All right. As we head into the new year, scams are everywhere, and they're following us along. A lot of people decide, to join the gym at the beginning of the year, which is a great thing and can get you in good health and on a good track and all of that. But there are some things to watch there too.
Yeah, a lot of folks make that New Year's resolution. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to lose these extra pounds. And a lot of those health clubs and gyms have great New Year's offers, join for $1, this kind of thing. Look at the reviews and reports from the Better Business Bureau on the gym you might have in mind. See if there's been any issues people have reported having problems with, and did the gym or health club respond to those and try to make things right. Some of them might offer a trial membership for a small fee so that you can see if you like the place or if it's going to work out for you. If you want to take advantage of something like that, that's great, but watch the clock on that. If it's like, come for a week and pay $15, but if they want a credit card for that and you don't cancel it, you may end up getting charged monthly. That's where we will see a lot of problems with those things, because they will take automatic charges out of a bank account or a credit card to pay for the membership, whether you're using it or not. And you want to watch that as well. When people are ready to quit the gym, perhaps, that's where they might run into problems. Sometimes those continue to come out, so keep an eye on that as well. Also, if things happen like that location of the gym closes, or if you move somewhere further away, can you move that membership to another location, or does that give you reason that you were able to cancel the membership without penalty?
Yeah, read that fine print, because it may say that you must have moved a certain number of miles or so forth, right? Yeah.
It can, yeah. That's why they might say just sign this little pad. Well, see what you're agreeing to, and don't necessarily believe everything someone's telling you and promising you about all the benefits and whatnot. Look at what there is. Try to visit that place different times of day to see how crowded it is. Check out the facilities, the cleanliness of it. If there are trainers available, is that going to cost you extra? Those kinds of things before you really commit to the whole thing.
Give it some thought, but maybe it is a great thing to do as well. All right, another popular resolution that people make is to clean up their debt at the beginning of the year. And aren't there people out there willing to try to help you with that?
Oh, yeah.
Help with that, right?
Oh, they really want to help, yeah. And there are plenty of reputable businesses out there. You will hear the ads everywhere. You will see them online. And there are many of them that can help you, but what the Better Business Bureau warns is it's not going to happen overnight. If someone says we're going to clean up your credit, we're going to erase your bad credit, already you should be looking at them rather askance, because that just isn't true. No one can make it go away that fast. It took you a while to get to that position. It's going to take a while to get out of it. And there are different methods. Some people might offer you a consolidation loan to pay off all the debts. Okay, so what kind of a interest rate is there that you're paying to the consolidation loan people? Are there extra fees involved? Most of the time your debt negotiators will say, well, we will call your creditors for you. Oh, great. Okay, they can do that. But you got to know that your creditors may not necessarily want to go along with it. They don't have to. So you want to keep that in mind. Some of them might sit on money you pay them monthly until they have enough that they think they have to offer whatever creditor you have. And in the meantime, the bill's not getting paid. And you might be getting calls. And if they tell you, oh, don't call the credit card people or the bank, we'll take care of it. If somebody tells you that, you should be a little wary about that. Why don't they want you to call? What is it that they don't want you to hear about? Please check out these companies at bbb.org and see what kind of record they have. Read carefully how exactly it is they're going to help you, what it is they're going to do for you. Some people just choose to go to credit counseling, and there are methods for that too. Nonprofit credit counseling companies that help you learn how to manage your debt better and your finances in general, and possibly help you with a plan to help get that paid off in a better way.
What does BBB accreditation do for a business and therefore maybe do for customers who may feel they can trust a firm more?
Right. We do encourage people, make that resolution to only use BBB accredited businesses. These are businesses that we've checked out. They've provided all their information. They have made promises to us that they're going to do business ethically. If they receive any complaints, they're going to respond to those, because we know a business is going to get a complaint. Did something fall through the cracks? What happened? And people have to be checked out before they can join the BBB. And we would encourage businesses to think about that in the coming year. Boost your bottom line, because there are benefits to businesses as well. They want to keep our free nonprofit services available to the public, because we are a nonprofit organization. People call, get assistance with complaints, hear our scam alerts. All of that is made possible by these businesses in your own community, because they want you to spend your money with them and not lose it to the con artists that we're always warning about on your other newscasts.
Right, and one more of those, scams, the too good to be true job offers that people are, they're getting texts on their phone, just respond to this and, you'll make $500 a day for 30 minutes work or whatever.
And anymore, you do hear people, the economy reports are changing and people might be losing their jobs. Some businesses might be reining in a little bit. So if somebody offers you something that just sounds too good to be true, sure, there's plenty of remote working going on, customer service jobs you can do at home if you have the right equipment. However, if someone's going to pay you, $1,500 a day to just sit there and answer emails for half an hour or something like that, that's not the real deal. Another common one we see are reshipping scams. They want you to be a package inspector, and they're going to send packages your way. You open them up, make sure it's all in one piece, move it on down the line, and generally there you're just a cog in the machine of sending on stolen merchandise, and nobody's going to pay you. That's what happens later on. You find out you're not getting a paycheck. These people have ghosted you. So if you can't find the physical location for these folks, but check that out with the BBB as well, and report any scams to BBB Scam Tracker on our website at bbb.org.
All right, some words to the wise from Heather Clary. Thank you so much. We appreciate it coming in today from the BBB.
Happy New Year.
And to you. And everybody stay with us. We're coming right back with Steve McClain from the Kentucky Retail Federation on how the holiday season has gone. We're coming back on Kentucky Newsmakers. Welcome back to WKYT's Kentucky Newsmakers. Kentucky retailers are watching their bottom lines very closely as the holiday season wraps up. For many, their sales during the holidays tell the story for the year. Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman has also started a retail organized crime unit because of so much theft. The Kentucky Retail Federation has more than 6,000 members, from major chain stores to mom and pop shops. Steve McClain is here from the Kentucky Retail Federation. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Always good to kind of figure out where we are at this time. It's been a year of some economic uncertainty. What are you hearing about how Kentucky retailers think they've done this holiday season?
It has been, a long year for them and for the consumers, just trying to figure out where things are, tariffs on, tariffs off, and how that affects the price of goods. And this is the holiday season is an important time. I know I was out on Small Business Saturday in Georgetown talking to some local businesses, and they were all saying, this is kind of their make or break season, that typically, for them especially, kind of helps define whether or not they'll be able to stay in business next year. So just from what we've seen, there's been national numbers seem to be looking good for retailers. And then what we've seen in Kentucky is just that the especially Black Friday, people were out shopping, and that seems to have carried on through the shopping season.
How important has timing been in terms of them, buying what they're selling because of the tariffs and some of the other uncertainty?
Well, what retailers were working on was trying to order their goods ahead of time before maybe tariffs took place. They were trying to catch orders in between those periods where there was some maybe where they were off, but they did a lot of ordering ahead to try to get products on the shelf. Now there were still some products that people saw throughout the year that were higher, especially goods from China that were imported in. And what we saw the consumers doing was they were spreading their purchases out throughout the year. If they knew, like back to school time, holidays, they were starting their shopping earlier in the year, trying to spread those purchases out, so it wasn't such a big hit, say on their monthly budget.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the final numbers and how the businesses have done. You posted an article calling attention to the rising card swipe fees that banks charge their customers, close to $20 billion in charges that most consumers probably never even think about.
They don't. Every time you swipe your card, there is about anywhere from a 2 to 3.5% charge that is put on the retailer just for swiping that card. And for many businesses, that's their second biggest expense next to labor, are those swipe fees. So that adds up to a pretty big expense for the retailer.
Can they pass that on? I know you do sometimes see, it's going to be an extra amount if you use a card.
You do see some businesses that will do that. You will see some businesses and some that I've been in that will say there will be a search if you pay cash. It'll be less than what on there. So you will see that occasionally when you go in.
There's some legislation proposed that would allow more businesses into the card business.
Yes,
right? Yeah.
and there is it's been an ongoing process for at least a year federally to get legislation passed that would basically open more competition up for businesses to choose what exchange market that they're going to use when the card is swiped.
The retail industry is said to employ 600,000 people here in Kentucky, and of course also they pick up some seasonal people during the holidays. Is it a challenge, though, for stores to find enough personnel?
It is, and that has been an ongoing issue for at least the last few years, finding enough people to work. As a result of that, you're seeing some businesses doing more automation of some things. You may see some restaurants doing things like having little robots that'll carry, the tray out to the table. You'll see sometimes some stores that will be using some automation to stock shelves for that. So it is an issue, continues to be an issue, finding enough workers. We're all competing. All businesses are competing for a shrinking pool of workers that are able to work.
Yeah. Is there any advice you give businesses in that regard?
Basically, be as you're looking for workers, look for filling those hours that you want. Be flexible, that you may find someone that may be able to work a part-time shift in the afternoon. So you've got businesses that try to be creative and proactive in how they staff and how they find people.
The Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman is launching a retail organized crime unit. The impact of theft on retailers is truly amazing. What's going on out there?
Well, and when you're dealing with these syndicates that are doing things, they tend to adapt almost faster than you can keep up with. And yes, some of it is your shoplifting and things, but we have seen, particularly in the last year, we have seen an increase in gift card fraud and scams, where we had a case here in Lexington that was $1 million, an indictment for $1 million fraud, where people were just going in, swiping, taking the cards off the shelf, they have figured out a way to basically get the code numbers off the back of the card.
Drain the card.
And drain the card, so that when you go and put the cards back on the shelf, so if you go and get the card, as soon as you activate it, put the money on it, it's drained. So you've seen some packaging is one thing that you've seen quite a bit of. Packaging's different.
The Attorney General made reference to people. He said they coming up and down I-75 and I-64. In other words, people coming into the state and moving through quickly. I guess as shoplifters, or
shoplifters. You will find these people. I mean, I have seen cases where they have pulled people over and they have like a credit card machine in the back of their SUV, where they can imprint the numbers or fake the numbers, and as they come through, they kind of, coming, whether they're coming, which direction, they just start. Say they start in Cincinnati, work their way down 75 to the Tennessee line, and they just stay ahead. And some of it is shoplifting, where they are, they're just loading their cart, going out, and then you'll find them those goods set up at flea markets and things like that.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what this unit uncovers. Does the Kentucky Retail Federation have a wish list for legislators who will arrive January 6th in Frankfort?
Yeah, it's hard to believe it's already here. So there are some things that we are going to be watching closely. We'll be keeping an eye out for any kind of SNAP waiver legislation that greatly affect our grocery stors. Any kind of taxing issues, we'll be keeping an eye out for that. And these organized retail crime efforts, there'll be some legislation probably being looked at to try and stem that tide, make sure that there's a process in place for when people are caught, that they are being prosecuted.
Do retailers typically tell you they want you to keep state government off their backs, or do they have some things they want state government to do?
as most businesses would say, we want to run our businesses, and we want to do it, as long as we know what the laws and the rules are, so we can operate.
Steve, the penny is going away, and we don't obviously know how to deal with that. Is there talk of some uniform pricing that, or some system that might make that easier to deal with?
There has been some legislation proposed nationally that would adopt a uniform rounding method for pennies. So it would round to the nearest nickel, basically. To do that, as the penny was stopped being made earlier this year. It's one of those things nobody thought about. Well, what do we do with how you pay for things until Well, we have no pennies in the cash register, so what do we do?
And it brings up other questions. If you round up or down, what does that do to the state sales tax?
Right.
Is it on the lower amount or the higher amount, or what it should have been?
Yes, exactly. And that's some of the questions that we have raised, is how, if a business does, because there's really no legislation in Kentucky that prohibits a business from rounding up, and I've seen a few throughout the state that is going on and rounding. But what we did was kind of say you need to be aware of the sales tax situation as well on that, so you don't get caught.
Is there an answer to that?
Not yet. So, basically that's something that we've been talking with the Department of Revenue with throughout the year on how to handle that, and hopefully looking to the national legislators to put something in, so that way every state's playing on an even playing field.
Just a little bit more confusion.
Just a little more confusion when you go out.
Steve McClain from the Kentucky Retail Federation. Thanks for coming. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Glad
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back. We'll wrap up Kentucky Newsmakers in a moment. We sure appreciate you being with us for this edition of Kentucky Newsmakers. We have scheduled Kentucky Senate President Robert Stivers to be with us next week, and of course that will be just ahead of the legislative session that does begin on January 6th. A lot to discuss. That's Kentucky Newsmakers for this week. Have a good week ahead and an early Happy New Year.